Hi, Gia. So, today you're going to show us how to cover up naughty little friends on the face?
Yeah, sometimes we all get that, so it's always handy to have a little concealer and a nice dense brush. So I'm going to show you how in literally a few seconds just get rid of it completely.
It's going to disappear.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a magic trick. So you just pick up a bit of concealer.
Is that a special kind of brush? You said a dense brush?
It has to be a dense brush because you want to really pack it on.
So by dense you mean it has to be quite hard, lots of hairs in it?
Lots of hair, nothing's too soft. So what you want to do is just really pack it on the spot and pressing motions. Just press down, just like that. Some magic happening. So the redness is gone.
Oh yes.
And all we want to do now is just take a little bit of translucent powder. And this time we better opt for a fluffy brush and just set it so it stays there all day, doesn't move.
So would you do this before or after you put on your foundation?
Probably after, because foundation will cover most of the redness anyway. So whatever is left you will see, and then you can just pinpoint conceal. So you don't need to...
So foundation first, and then we're using a concealer, with a very dense brush.
Something like this, yeah.
Okay, and so it's patted on, and then we blend around
the edges,
and then we close it off with a
bit of translucent powder, just to really set it and keep it in place.
Is that the same kind of powder that you put on?
You could definitely use the same powder. Yeah, there's no need to get specific one.
Okay, well maybe you can get rid of those two.
Yeah. Right. So the same thing. Just pick up a little bit of concealer and just press.
We always tend to get a spot, especially when we don't want it, when you're going out or when you have a party or...
It's a great trick. It literally takes 2 seconds and it completely disappears.
Your concealer should obviously match your skin color, yes?
In this case, it's very important that it matches your skin tone, otherwise it will really show.
When you're buying a concealer, Gia, what do you test it on? The back of your arm?
I would try it on my face.
On the face?
It may be just at the chin area here, because the face color can be a bit different to your hands. Are usually tend to be quite more tanned, and then here it's a lot whiter. So it's always better to try it somewhere here. Yeah. But even if concealer doesn't really suit your skin tone, so you can just put it under the foundation. So there is also an option and just set
Thank you very much for that tip today. Hi Lawrence, and welcome to the program.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are one of these leading gurus on hair transplants. So, can we start off, if you can tell me the difference between FUE and FUT and what it actually means?
Yes, I will start with the FUT first, with the oldest technique. The FUT means is follicle unit transplantation. That it means that they will take a strip from the back, on the back side of the head. That it means from the donor area is always on the back of the head.
So hold on a second. They take a strip of skin from the back of the head, and on that strip of skin there are loads of follicles.
Yes.
But then they don't stick a strip, they take out...
They will remove the follicles from that strip, and they will implant it where it
all
needs.
Over the...
But the problem is the FUT, it will leave a scar. It's a big scar.
Yes, in fact, sometimes you see people with a big scar at the back.
This scar as well with the FUE, so I will talk later about the FUE. The problem is the FUT, it will leave a big scar, and for that time the client, if he likes to shave his hair after 5 years or when he likes, he is really...
he's going to have that scar at the back.
Yes, exactly.
Right. So really and truly then the FUT is okay if you're going to have longer hair, which will cover the scar.
Yes,
as
but
such.
even the look afterwards, it will look different from the FUE. It will show that it's something not normal, not something...
where the scar is.
No, even when it is transplanted afterwards.
Oh, okay. So the transplants are also different.
It's different. It will show sometimes, yes.
Okay.
In the FUE, definitely nothing.
Doesn't show.
Yeah,
so
it
the
shows
FUT then is the older method.
Yeah, still
they still
do
use
using
it. So you solve sort of one problem, but you create another with the
Yes,
skull.
yes,
and
exactly.
also then the transplanted hair tends to show. It looks transplanted.
Yes, sometimes it will show. If you will see a client with FUE and FUT after the transplantation,
You can see the difference.
You can see the difference, yes.
So, Lawrence, what is FUE then?
FUE, it is follicle unit extraction. It means that we remove follicle one by one. Instead, we cutting.
Instead of the strip?
You don't have any kind of strips. And when we remove the follicle one by one, we remove the follicle from a small, tiny hole, not more than 1 millimeter. Sometimes we use 0.6 of millimeter, depends the thickness of the follicle. But usually it will come out from a small hole.
So then you have lots of tiny scars?
No, it will, because of its tiny, very
Size.
small, it will not remain a scar.
Okay.
Even it heals by itself. Within 10 days it will heals, and then after, if the patient, he will shave his hair after maximum of 6 months, usually it will
Doesn't show at all.
Doesn't show at all. He can shave his hair what he likes.
You just said now that it heals on its own. So going back to the FUT, that's
FUT
big.
needs stitches.
It needs stitches.
Stitches, yes, because you have a big scar.
Of course.
You need if
You
a
need to put the
patient
two pieces of
needs,
skin back together.
3,000 hairs. Imagine how the strip, how it is big, you know.
Okay.
But with FUE,
No
you will-
stitches?
no stitches at
So
all.
it's less invasive.
Of course.
Okay,
Yes.
so then the downtime obviously is much less, the recovery time.
Yes, yes. The recovery time of the FUE, it's not more than 10 days.
Okay.
Maximum 10 days.
And then you were saying as well that with FUT you can tell that a transplant has been done. So with FUE then it's a more natural look.
The look, the design,
result, yes.
the design, it will comes more natural.
Natural looking.
More looking natural.
Okay.
And because we place the implants hair by hair, follicle by follicle.
Whereas with
And,
FUT they're like clusters, they're little clusters.
They will place the same, but it will show.
It just has a different look.
There is
Okay,
different.
so the FUE is a more modern.
More modern. The treatment consists on the follicles, on the transplanted follicle, just spraying normal saline for 3 days, and we give them a small instructions. Then after the 3rd day, they will start washing their hair.
How long before
Yes.
they see a result?
They start to see the first result usually after 5 to 6 months. But before, when we implanted the new hairs, usually they start growing up, and then it will force again between 4 to 5 weeks. It's normal.
So it grows and then it falls.
Yes, it's normal. It's the cycle of the follicle.
Okay.
Then it will start growing the new hairs usually after 5 months.
What is the success rate in this kind of procedure?
The success rate is normally it's like 80%. Sometimes it's more.
Okay, so this is something which you do once in your lifetime?
Depends the area. If it's a big area or a small area.
If somebody has lost, I mean, because I think the bulk of the patients doing this would be males. So
No, even females.
Females are doing it?
Yes, and
Let's
we will
do-
do the same procedure.
Let's talk a little bit about males, though, because males lose their hair. It's male pattern baldness. Now,
yes.
when you do the transplant, that hair is susceptible to falling due to male pattern baldness, or no, not at all. The life cycle of it is going to remain forever.
From the transplant?
Yes.
No, the transplant. If we implanted the transplant, usually it will stay all.
It will stay
usually.
Right. Because of course you're taking it from the back, which doesn't fall normally.
Yes. That's why we will take it from the back, because from the back, to make it more easy, the follicles it's much more stronger than other follicles.
It's very interesting, and I didn't know that it had such a high success rate. So that's very promising as well.
The success is 80%.
Tell me, is it a painful treatment?
Hair transplant depends. When we give the local anesthetic, because we will do it with local anesthetic.
Okay.
Local anesthetic, it's not it's not a nice injection, you know, like when somebody will go to a dentist. But during the procedure,
you inject multiple areas on the scalp?
First we will inject in the donor site. And then we inject as well on the transplanted area. But during the operation, it's not that much painful operation, especially after the procedure. After the procedure is very interesting.
You don't feel anything
no.
then, you feel fine?
Sometimes the first night they feel like they
throbbing,
have something
and a headache,
heavy head, not painful,
heavy.
not headache,
yes.
like heavy head, you know, with the local anesthetic.
Yes.
But after 24 hours, it will be.
Another reason for hair loss is alopecia. I don't think that hair transplants.
No, alopecia. We don't do transplant on it, especially in our first, very common alopecia areata. We give such treatment to help, not to the alopecia. It will grow bigger, but no, we're not doing.
It's not good for that.
No, it's not good for that.
When you say there are other treatments, so for example, if somebody has thinning hair but they
Yes.
don't really want to go for a transplant yet, is there something that they can do before they get to transplant
Today is very
stage?
popular, the PRP, platelets-rich plasma.
Okay.
We will take some blood from the patient. We have a specific machine that it separates, and then we will inject the plasma on the affected area. It will help for the thinning of hair, to stimulate the follicle, and it have a good success as well. But just for the existing hair. We cannot do PRP, for example, because on me without hair. You know, I mean, it's not going to be work at all. But if a patient has losing the hair because the cycle is at that moment it's fasting, we can use PRP. We can use other things. There are some topical as well. There are good. Today there are definitely you find topical for thinning of hair.
Yeah.
And it works as well.
What's the starting off price?
Transplanted starting around 1,000 plus to 5,000 plus.
Okay, so obviously it's not good because can somebody donate to somebody else?
No, never.
It has to be that. So you have to have a donor area on your head.
Yes, it needs to have a good donor site. If there is no good donor site,
then they're not eligible for it. I think it's a very interesting service to have. People are very aware about losing their hair and the fact that obviously as you start going bald or thinning that it makes you look older, and so we're always trying to look younger, so a fuller, denser head of hair helps in this sort of need that we have.
Glamour, runway, style, fame.
She likes gossip. She likes
Boys, parties, style, fame.